In order to complete our create table statement, we need to enclose the table data structure in the round brackets like the syntax calls for. Create table customer info round bracket. Now each of our data definitions must also be separated by a comma. Just like so. Next, we're going to close it off with a round bracket and a semicolon. And we have our create table statement, almost. As it is, there's nothing wrong with this statement, but there is one glaring structure problem that you won't realize yet. That is, it's missing a key, or some way to reference the data in a unique manner. The nature of this data here is that it could easily be holding duplicate names, duplicate addresses, etc. So there's no one field that is 100% unique that we can reference. To make that data easy to reference, we need what's called a primary key. Primary key is a column that is unique to each row. That column is what we reference when we recover the information from the database. Because our form does not contain a field that the customer fills out, which may be unique, we have to create one ourselves. So in creating such a field, we do have a standard way of doing that. It's using a special command called auto-increment. When used in conjunction with a numeric data type, the auto-increment field will increment by 1 for every row of data inserted into the database. So we're going to create that field by adding this data type. ID, int, unsigned, because we have no need for that auto-increment field to be negative, auto_increment. We're also going to designate this as primary key field. Again, we name it unsigned to increase the range and therefore the number of rows that we can have in the table. We name it also as a primary key to let MySQL know that it has to be unique. Finally, we chose int as the type because that will allow us over 2 million records before we run into a problem. Not a likely occurrence. If you do feel it may be a risk getting that high with this table, then you could always change that to the big int type. Finally, it's always good to know when the record was created or modified. So I'm going to add a timestamp field to this so we can keep track of that information. Make sure we have all of our syntax correct here. And now we have a create table statement. So we're just going to copy this, move to our window, make sure that you have your database selected. It's going to use rwphp and paste our create statement, and there we go. Now we have our table. Take a look at it. We're going to type in the command describe customer info. And there we have our table with all of our definitions. We have our customer ID, unsigned, primary key, auto-incrementing, first name shipping, 50 characters, address 100, and so on. So now we have to learn how to input and access information in this table that we've created.